Okay, good evening, everyone. Hopefully, you can hear me. Hopefully, this thing's actually working this time. Um, yeah, happy Wednesday. Happy Whisky Wednesday. Um, Please give me a thumbs up if you can hear me, because that's very reassuring. Um, Welcome. This is my first attempt at trying to do a live stream. So it's kind of something I've always wanted to do, and I finally got everything sort of together and trying to uh, trying to see if this actually works. Um, Obviously, I need to start off with saying hello and thanks for coming out, and a shout out to Mark for being the first one. I don't know, maybe a cookie. Maybe you have to buy the first round of shots. I'm not sure. I haven't figured out what the appropriate gift for showing up early. But thank you, Mark from M&M Rails. Um, could be my TV though. I don't know. Does that mean you can't hear me, Mark? Um, but yeah, I want to also thanks to Sparky and Kraus Rails because they hopped on at my first semi-failed attempt at this. So I kind of changed things. I accidentally, while I was doing testing, I created a um, public attempt, and it was supposed to be a private one, so I could test the audio and um, things like that. And yeah, so they jumped on and were able to let me know how things weren't working. So hopefully things are a little bit better. So um, what is this? What is Whiskey Wednesday? Well, other than like I said, my attempt at doing a live, what it's not going to be is I'm definitely not going to be doing um, weekly stuff. So just because of my um, I'm a shift worker and my schedule kind of bounces around all the time, so I can't commit to every week or anything like that. But every once in a while, then I'll pop on and do a thing and show some stuff I'm working on. I have a couple of things to show you in a short bit once I've done all the babbling stuff. Um, but yeah, hopefully, what it will end up being is aside from a train wreck, uh, but just sort of popping on for half hour, something like that. Tonight will probably only be about a half hour or so, just so I can make sure that this is actually doing the things that it's supposed to be doing. And like I said, just showing some of the things that I've been working on. And um, yeah, so thanks for popping in here. I see Sparky and Kraus Rails are here, and Mark from M&M Rails, and Don Hennessy. Um, I think that's everyone that I've seen in the chat. Um, so thanks for popping in here and seeing what's happening. So first thing I want, almost like a little show and tell. First thing I'll show you is these are the N scale trash gondolas from OVR trains. They do have the HO ones, but these are the N scale ones, so the normal scale. Um, so something I did for these, because I found that when you put the load into them, that um, they're hard to get out. And so as I'm sort of exploring some aspects of like um, operations and things like that, and I want to be able to swap out the loads. So what I ended up actually doing is putting a little something in there, so then it just pops right out. So I put this is just basically foam core. So from the dollar store, a little, and I cut up little pieces, and I put one at the bottom, and I got the black stuff, so it blends in nicely, especially with the black AIM cars. Um, it's doesn't necessarily blend in as well with, I have one of the green ones, but it doesn't work as well. But I put another small piece, hopefully you can see that, on the bottom, and this allows me to place it in there, and it's now elevated load. This is the load that actually I think Lauren's wife Sarah paints up. I believe they get them made from mini prints, and then she paints them up. And so I added this little piece on the bottom here, so then all you have to do is just push down on one of the ends, and then you can access it. So kind of a handy little way to get them in and out, and then they sit sort of nice and tall, so then you can actually see that loads in there and see the nice scrap metal. So it's great for my little scrap yard, and then I can quickly pop them out and none the wiser, especially with the black at the bottom there. Another little thing, I know Mark was talking about looking for N scale whales. I'm not sure why, other than it starts with the same W as a Wednesday, but hopefully you can settle for a N scale howitzer. So I found this actually from a gaming site, and it actually came from your neck of the woods, Mark. There's a 3D printing guy up in Ottawa. And so he printed these up, and so I just finished painting it up, and this is for like a little memorial area. It's a 25 pounder, so I got this to sort of put as my little cenotaph area, so I have a little howitzer. So it doesn't rhyme or go with Wednesday, but it's something neat, like a little thing I've been working on as doing things in the background. One of the things, if you've seen some of my recent videos, I've been really trying to push the idea of doing things 15 minutes a day, right? So I know that there's some people that really push for, like, you know, do an hour a day or things like that. And sometimes, especially with my job, sometimes there's really not much left in the tank when you get home from work. So, but I find spending 15 minutes on something is very manageable, and you can really pick off little things. So especially with N scale, because I mean, it is the most awesome scale. But to sit there and paint something like this, it really doesn't take a lot of time. So to just sit down, spend 5-10 minutes putting on one coat, and then you give yourself another 5 minutes to clean up all your brushes if you actually remember to. And yes, I've already ruined a couple brushes just on this project alone, but spending a little bit of time, and then now I have a completed 25 pounder to go on my cenotaph area. So spending a few minutes every day on your layout is really something, it's kind of manageable for most people. And that's kind of what I wanted to do even for today. So I finally got from Amazon and Crossrails and Sparky. You might have remembered the Amazon box during my failed attempt at a live, and this is what was, it's nothing exciting, but this is what was inside the Amazon box, is some batteries. These are not hard to find, but they're kind of hard to find batteries that go into the Rapido caboose. Oh, and to answer your question, Mark, I'm really not necessarily great at the multitasking yet, but they don't really have a website per se. I'm pretty sure I found them on Etsy, but they do like 3D gaming and 3D printing for that. So it was actually supposed to be scaled for whatever the typical 3D gaming pieces are, and then I requested him do it 1/60th scale, and he was quite happy to do that. He actually sent me a whole thing, just as a complete sidetrack from the caboose. So because it's a gaming thing, then you actually get two 25 pounders with it. You get the limber and then a whole bunch of the gun crew for it. So I don't know, I mean, there's guys that are seated, so I could probably find somewhere to put them on the train layout, but for a few bucks, then it was actually much easier than trying to find something else online to print off or buy or anything like that. And it was a local Canadian maker, so I couldn't say no to that. So yeah, back to the caboose. This is the older version of the Rapido caboose. So they have announced a new version of these Angus van cabooses, and one of the issues that they had with these is the way that you power them. So I'm probably going to break this, which will be amazing on the live. But this is, come on now. So you have to remove the top, and then finally you can access the inside, and that's where the batteries go. I'd already taken the batteries out, and they use these LR41 batteries, which are not anything that the dollar stores, at least around here, carry, and they're pretty, not expensive, but I mean, you have to go to like a specialty watch place. And one of the problems with these cabooses, one of the few, or several problems, is they burn through batteries So they don't last long. So the new Angus vans that they just announced are actually going to use their I forget what they call it. Is it Mopower? That might be another manufacturer, but someone they have like basically a keep alive, and they're getting track power now, so they're not dependent on the batteries, because I think they got a lot of flack for because even on this one here, I ended up breaking one of the tabs just trying to get into it, and a lot of people reported breaking these and damaging them and scuffing the paint trying to pull them apart. So they really they're beautiful. They're beautiful cabooses. Cabai? Not sure what the multiple of cabooses are, but they are very nice. And but just the only downside is they're just as hard to get into as apparently this battery is. Oh, there's extra. So if I stab myself, then you guys are all witnesses for why I have to take some time off work. So these LR41s that don't want to come out. There's one. Like I said, I had to order them specially from Amazon so I can get like a 10-pack, because as I go through them, or as I use them, then they use up fairly quickly. But if you've been watching any of my layout updates, I've ripped apart one of my main bridges because I've been doing a whole bunch of scenery work there, and that's progressing well. But the downside is that also I don't have a continuous loop, so as part of I still want to run trains, and I mean that's a great, like I was mentioning earlier about like spending 15 minutes a day on your layout. Sometimes just running a train and switching an industry out is all you need to sort of scratch the itch. Yeah, I don't know, Sparky, if they're I doubt that they're going to offer any type of like retro kits, upgrades, things, so then the rest of us, oh boy, the rest of us can enjoy the track power. But this is not easy to do, especially when you have big giant sausage fingers and then trying to get this little tiny battery in there. It's not okay. Who moved my tweezers? So in theory, that should, I don't remember which orientation that they need, but I feel like they're upside down. You need the little magic wand to make it do things, but yeah, I think that they might be upside down. So I gotta, after all that work, I gotta do it again. And this is why I'm sure that much of the feedback, especially since again they burn through batteries fast, so because even though you turn it off, they don't seem to actually turn off. So I'm sure that they got lots of complaints about the functionality of these things. Oh boy, I forgot which way that I put those in. I think I'm going to end up repeating. Isn't that the definition of insanity, is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results? So isn't this an entertaining live stream, watching some guy fiddle with N-scale caboose? All right, let's see if that works. There's supposed to be a switch that the wand will pick up on. It's like a little magnetic switch that you just have to move that. But I don't feel like these are sitting properly in here. I mean, I've never heard of a caboose being nicknamed a whale, but it's possible, I guess. It's anything could anything's possible, really. Maybe that's the N scale caboose are called whales. Maybe that's, so we could call this Whale Watching Wednesday. I'm sure there's a switch in here. It's been so long since I've got these to actually do things that are we seeing lights on them? Actually, you know what, Mark? As I'm fuddling around with this, I have something for you. Since you asked for it. Hang on. Where'd it go? Here we go. Just for... Oh, hang on. I'll try the small end. We'll come back to that. Just for Mark, here is the elusive blue whale/whale. So an N scale whale car. This is kind of a weird one actually because it's marked for Hobbytown, USA. So I forget where I got this from. I think I just bought it from someone as part of a collection. So at some point I plan actually to strip the decals off and re-decal this as a CSX one. But here you go. Here's your N-scale whale car. So back to fighting with this thing. Oh! We have some life. So that's kind of weird, but I have one red marker working. I don't know if that's coming up on the live stream. But we have one red marker working. Now, what did I do to get that? So if I lick the battery, in theory that will make things better, right? That's what we're thinking. Oh, somehow I turned off that red battery. So I turned off the red marker somehow, but I don't know how I turned it on. So that's not going the way that it was planned. I mean, like I said, these are beautifully detailed models. Just they don't play very nicely. See if I can get that wire to go back in. I'm sure this probably is driving poor Sparky mad, just watching me fight with this electricity, basic electricity coming from a very simple little battery operated toy. Oh, that turned on the red light. I wonder if there's a wiring issue because it seems like only one side is on. It's always the right side. And I can't get the green lights to work because I'm pretty sure that they worked. Maybe they don't. Well, needless to say, I'm going to try to get one of the track powered ones because that is infuriating. Well, there you go. I'm doing better than watching paint dry, which that's always a good goal in life. So, yeah, I think that's, like I said, I didn't have necessarily a lot sort of planned because I wanted to just sort of try this out and see video and audio wise and see how things sort of worked out and just show you a couple of little things that I've been playing around with, especially with the aim cars and the little 3D model that I was working on. So I'm actually going to kind of bring things to a close. Just since you mentioned it, Mark, I'll just quickly show you the yeah, it's just basically two pieces, one piece of wood that I shaved down and just sort of cut down and put onto a perfectly flat piece of plywood, and then found some foam from some packaging, and it works well enough. I mean, those, I think it's Micromart and a couple other places sell highly expensive ones, and this is good enough to keep things things in place while I work on them. So one of the next projects will probably be this guy, and yeah, got lots of little bench projects to work on as well as why finish up everything that I'm working on over on the layout to get the bridge all sorted out. So I do appreciate everyone for coming out. If you have any comments or anything like that about things I can work on and improve, then feel free to shoot me a message and try to figure out how to make some more cameras, do different angles and all the fancy stuff that all the professionals like Sparky and all the Third Rail Thursday guys all do. So but until that time and until I get a little bit better at it, then thanks again for coming, and I appreciate all the everyone watching along. So have yourself a wonderful Wednesday. Go enjoy whatever type of modeling fluid is in your future. I went with just a tea for today, but I'm sure I'll find something else a little bit harder for later tonight. And yeah, have a wonderful Wednesday and have a wonderful week, day, month, February. Happy February. Have a good one. Have a good night.